guys, welcome to Better Bachelor. My name is Joker with a face for radio and a voice for print. Thank you again for everybody being patient while I wait for my new headphone monitors because I can't really hear myself very well. My audio and my compressor, we'll get it all configured. So all of you sending in your advice for me to how to clean it up, we'll get there. I appreciate your patience through this trying time. Portland decides they're going to be just like California and basically have so many bad policies that the whole west coast of the United States pretty soon is just going to be filled with people on tranquilizer and walking around like zombies, and every store is going to be closed, and the streets will be filled with crap, and there's not going to be anything left. I'll be honest with you. At this point in time, if we could just take California and Japan and like swap the two, that would be amazing. I think we'd get a much better class of citizen. I know we'd be getting a much better class of citizen. I think that would be a drastic improvement for the United States. Just have all the weird leftists go to Cali and then chop it off and float it out into the ocean. So this from Oregon Live. Nike to permanently close the Northeast Portland factory store, the business district says. So this is not, okay, so they say factory and store. So I guess it's a factory and store. I thought for some reason it was one or the other. It'll be closed to the public on January 18th, 2023. Oh, so they already closed it, apparently. They say Nike will, let me zip this up so it's easier for all of us to read. Nike will close its community store in Northeast Portland permanently, it told the neighborhood business district on Friday. The Seoul District Business Association said in a news release Friday that the community was dealt a major economic blow after Nike, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, Nike, finalized its plan to close and vacate the store. Nike confirmed its plans in a statement to the Oregonian Oregon Live and said that the company was reimagining Nike's retail space. Reimagining. Reimagine. Oh boy, is that the buzzword of 2022-23. And considering future locations as part of this community's long-term revitalization plan. They're just leaving. That's all there is to it. Now they may say, we're looking at other options. We're going to consider it. And what's going to happen? They'll probably relocate to Texas, honestly. The footwear and apparel store had been mostly closed to the public for most of the year and had been unclear whether the store's closure is temporary or permanent. John Washington, executive director of the Seoul Business District Association, said that he had sent a letter to Nike roughly a month ago asking about the status of the Portland store, at which point it had been closed for more than 6 months. The store's closure was starting to impact the small businesses in the area who were telling me that they were getting less and less foot traffic and business was not going well. That prompted me to ask Nike what their intentions were. Washington said he followed up with them earlier this week about the store's status, and the sneaker company responded with news of the closure during the Zoom meeting on Friday morning. He said the sneaker giant blamed safety and security issues. Word about the store closing landed like a lead balloon, he said. Why close down a flagship store that had supported Black Portland for over 40 years? It was an economic driver in this area, and we should be looking at the long-term impact of that closure. Well, here's why, and here's exactly why. And this is the same thing that all these crazy cities do, that all the lefties do, that all the feelings over facts people do. They say defund the police. And a lot of these communities say, no, we actually like the police. Now, granted, the popo can make some mistakes, and they may have pulled my auntie or uncle over a couple times unfairly in the last 5 years, but we still like them around. Just look at some parts of Chirac, South Chicago, where the cops don't even show up anymore. I think it's Sweden now has no-go zones, something like 61 no-go zones, where the government and the police don't even go into. It's because they're so crime-ridden, even the cops are like, look, for a paycheck, I'm not going to put my life on the line, forget it. And so now, because of their policies, they come back around to the business and they say, you're hurting the black community. How dare you do this? Oh, where's my how dare you button? I always forget to bring up Greta every once in a while. They say, how dare you do this to the black community?
How dare you?
You're hurting the community. And the business is like, look, dude, you're letting us, we're being robbed blind. You're telling the cops not to come arrest anybody that's stealing from us. So yeah, the black community the good people in the black community may suffer, But the bad people in this community are the stealing, and you won't stop them. And so it's risk assessment, and we're out. They said in February, Nike made a request to Mayor Ted Wheeler and city officials to detail off-duty police officers to provide security at the community store. Wheeler's office, however, nixed the request for police attendance. Mayor Ted Wheeler said in a statement Friday he was very disappointed with the news of the Nike community store's closure, and his team and city staff have worked tirelessly and in good faith with Nike for almost a year to offer creative solutions to their safety challenges. Oh, you mean like actually having enough police to stop the problem? Oh, you didn't mean that? Well, what about, allowing police to arrest people that steal things and then putting those people in jail and making sure they stay in jail and get rehabilitation so when they come out they don't steal more things? Oh, you didn't do that? So when they asked, okay, we'll even pay for police officers out of our own budget to protect our store, Ted Wheeler's answer was no. But then he comes back around and he says, but we're disappointed you're leaving, and we've tried in good faith to work with you. That's the lark. That's the grift, the twist. They're full of it. They're full, and they know it. They know it. But just like all the crazy ladies and women and everything else I talk about, there's no accountability. No accountability for their own actions. So they trash it all, they ruin it all, and then when people start to suffer, they go, it wasn't us, it's the companies. It's not our fault. The companies are leading. I mean, what are we supposed to do? It's not on us, dude. I just realized I'm leaning on my left elbow all the time. I'm almost drifting out my window. Got to work on my core support here. They say ultimately the city cannot offer Nike or any other private business with dedicated off-duty officers due to PPB's staffing shortage. Oh, why are you short-staffed? You didn't fund enough of the police force? Or maybe the police officers realized there's more of a risk of them going to jail for some ridiculous accusation. So they just said, hey, you know what? I'm not getting paid enough for this crap, so I'll move into a different state where I can be a police officer and the people trust me, or where I'm safer. They say Nike Community Store has been a staple in Portland, once the core of the city's black population since it opened in 1984. Portland's civil rights and education activist Ron Herndon and the Black United Front worked with Nike in the 1980s to bring the brand's first ever factory store on Martin Luther King Boulevard. And he says, I'm disappointed that they're not going to be doing anything. And, well, of course. He says, this Herndon guy says, I think it's a failure of the leadership at City Hall. Well, exactly. So at least you're pointing the finger in the right direction. He said, you would have thought that the city leaders would have tried harder to keep the store to stay open because of its impact on other small businesses in the community, but I didn't see that at all. And so Nike just says, bye. Say you wouldn't want to be you. And why? Because of the crime, because of these left politics, because of the low expectations, the soft bigotry of low expectations, saying, well, these people are just stealing to feed themselves. Oh, is that why they're grabbing 13 Gucci purses and running out the store so they can sell it on eBay and feed themselves? Really? I have a hard time believing that. But this is, you're going to slowly see it, that more and more, the more these companies go woke, more cities, more towns, more everybody bows to the feelings over facts or making a political statement about things, the worse they're going to get. It just happened here, as a matter of fact. This is Disney. And I snapped this off a couple of days ago, so I'm sure it might be even worth. I snapped this on the 7th, and today's the 11th, because I was going to talk about this. Over the last 5 years, it's down 28%. And if you go back to the last time they were at $80, it was something, I don't even remember what it was, 10, 20, 15 years ago. Disney hasn't made a dime in the last decade if you're a stockholder. Why? Because they went woke. They decided to go with feelings over facts, feelings over money, feelings over logic, feelings over sense. That's where all these places are going. And now you're seeing the ramifications of it. And I'm okay with that. I'm all right with that. The problem, though, is as these areas are destroyed, the people that are there that can't afford to move, the people that are on low budget, the people that need these businesses, the people that work at these businesses, they suffer. And instead of blaming their local leadership, instead of blaming, well, they just keep voting and doing the same things they've always done. Isn't it amazing how the police department in New York, or the police department in San Francisco, or the government agency, the government of California, they say, oh, they're all the isms and phobes, and oh, they're the worst people. And you look, and they've been a Democrat supermajority for 20, 30, 50, 80 years. And then you're going to say, well, the people in government, well, they don't like black people. Okay, but you keep voting for them, and they're the Democrats you keep putting in there. And I know a lot of you guys say, dude, I don't like the politics. Just talk about, but here's the thing. Disney failing is politics. Nike leaving, politics. California becoming awful, politics. People moving out to Florida, or people moving to Tennessee, doing well, being happy, politics. Everything is politics now. And so you can yell at me and say, I don't want to hear about, I didn't come here to listen to, okay, but you can, and I've said many times, you can ignore politics. Politics will not ignore you. You look what's going on in Hawaii, the governor, or the governor or the mayor, somebody slipped and actually started saying something about smart cities. And then he was like, politics. It's all politics. So when you start wondering why the world's falling apart around your ears, and you can't figure it out, it's politics. So you can ignore them as much as you want, or you can say, you know what, we may not agree on how to fix everything, but we can agree that things are broken, and a lot of the policies that are putting through are not working, and we need to make some changes. And until those changes happen, things are going to continue to suck. And even after they change, it doesn't mean the other side of the aisle, it doesn't mean Republicans or Tory or conservatives up in Canada, it doesn't mean they're going to be any better. Maybe they're all awful. Maybe we just need to get back to small local governments and tell the federal agencies to GTFO. Maybe that's the answer, because I don't think left or right have us and our best interests in mind. But I can tell you this, they're suffering because of it. They're suffering, everything's suffering, and it's going to continue to suffer. I never ask anybody to agree with me on politics, because I don't even know what my politics are. You know what my politics are right now? I hate everybody. I hate everybody. That's my politics right now. I hate any government that is larger than my living room. That's where I am right now. Maybe that's not realistic. Maybe that wouldn't last very long. We'd be a nation of warlords and tyrants. At this point, I don't care. We got to do something else. And it's just going to keep sliding, man. It's going to keep sliding off a cliff. Where we land, I don't know, but we'll find out. Guys, thank you very much for being over here, checking out the videos. I appreciate it. I'll get them edited and uploaded for you. Hopefully my earbuds will be in soon. I can make sure my sound gets a little bit better and cleaner. If it's not, I never know until I'm editing my content now, and by then it's too late. I'm not recording another 20-minute video or whatever. So, all right, guys, we'll leave it there. We'll see you in the next one.